2025 marks the 50th year in a row that writer and explorer Dr. James Raffin will have spent at least part of the year traveling, researching, and learning in the Arctic. To celebrate this career milestone, James has written a one-man musical show he's calling The Accidental Canadian, referring to the fact that his British parents flipped a coin after World War II to decide whether to emigrate to South Africa or Canada.
And they flipped a coin, and it was what it was. They got on the Empress of Scotland and sailed to Montreal. But for the flip of a coin, I would have been South African.
Since he was old enough to venture out on his own, James has been traveling to the most remote corners of the Arctic by every conceivable means: canoe, dog sled, icebreaker, float plane, snowmobile, and on foot, always returning with stories that have found their way into books, films, radio documentaries, magazine articles, and countless presentations.
The best part of growing up was that if it was a nice day, their parenting strategy was to just put a boot print on your bum and out the door you went. And in the days of feral children, and I miss those days, the boot prints. But then along came this little guy, first as a book and then as a movie. And little did I know that I would end up writing the life story of the guy who was the first person who publicly took Clancy Holling's story of Paddle to the Sea and carved it, a little guy called Bill Mason from Winnipeg. I wanted to write a book that asked the question, is the adventure worth the risk? And I started down that path and ran smack into the worst accident that's happened in Canada with school children, in which 12 young boys, young men, and a teacher died on a high school canoe trip. Deep Waters, my book, tries to deal with that. Like, don't throw the risk baby out with the tragedy bathwater. There must be a better way to do that. But anyway, this night, this woman is on the phone. It's like 9:45. Hi, you don't know me, but you know who I am. And I'm going, oh. And she said, I have something I want to give you. And I thought at that point it was going to be a piece of her mind because she was mad that I had done this. And she said, no, I have a canoe, one of the canoes, the canoe in which my son Davy was paddling the day that he died. And I realized I'd written this whole book about this thing and I had no clue about what this tragedy meant to her. She said, I want to give you this canoe, and under two conditions. One is you use it for educational purposes, and two, I want to paddle in it. So I went up, we paddled in it, and eventually it ended up in the Canadian Canoe Museum, and I'm delighted that it's in one of the exhibits in the new building. But in response to Barbara Graney, I wanted to honor her pain in some small way, and I thought the best way I knew how to do that was to put some kind of music to it and write a song about that. And the song arises out of my question to her. She'd kept this canoe for 27 years in a garage at 7 Harris Street in Port Carling, Ontario. And I said, why did you keep this canoe all that time? And she said, well, it was the last place Davy was. This is a song called The Last Place. Willing hands make way near the end of spring on the sun-bright face of Temiskaming. This canoe, Lalemant, it was one of 4 that took 31 souls to a rocky shore on cold water.
The Accidental Canadian is a thought-provoking show for all ages with stories, images, and songs. James will expose you to places, people, and voices you would likely never see or hear, all part of the incredible country that the Accidental Canadian has discovered in half a century of rambling and writing in the Great White North. His stories and experiences will charm you, inform you, make you laugh and cry, and perhaps help you get a new appreciation of Canada through his reflections on a lifetime of Arctic experience.
River bright, river blue, in my dreams I paddle through from 10 Mile Lake to Fildergrand. Just me and you, just me and you in our